We're going to begin with the chant now.
Guide to inner truth, my heart of hearts, vanish my illusion. Shri Yogananda, guide to inner freedom, steal into my heart of hearts, vanish my Shri Yogananda, guide to inner freedom, steal into my heart of hearts, vanish my delusion. Shri Yogananda, guide to inner to my heart of hearts, vanish my delusion. Shri Yogananda, guide to inner freedom, steal into my heart of hearts, vanish my delusion. Shri Yogananda, guide to inner freedom, steal my heart of hearts, vanish my
Well, welcome again to our meeting this morning. And we're going to begin with Haridas speaking about the journey that we've been on. And the reason for this meeting is to let everyone know that Ananda, Bangalore has taken on a new direction that we feel very much is from Master. And we want to share this direction and this impetus of forward moving grace with all of you and include all of you in this beautiful journey that we are all on together. So Haridas is going to begin just by sharing what.
Okay. Well, again, good morning. Thank you all for joining us. It was also very special as we had Nai Swami Jyotish and Devi with us here in India. So anyway, as Brahma said, just briefly, this is about land. It seems like it's time now to begin thinking about getting land here in Bangalore. First of all, as a place for refuge in the possibility of hard times, we have a place to go. From there, we'll see, hopefully a retreat, and God willing, in time, a community. You know, when we read from Master and from Swami, listening to their talks and so forth, again and again, they're talking about spiritual community. As Swamiji said, that spiritual community was central to Master's work, which truly it was. There was a time when he was thinking so much about what he called World Brotherhood Colonies or spiritual community that he had to chant. And he said, then my mind came back. And I've always appreciated that little story because that's how enthusiastic he was about World Brotherhood Colonies. He said that the ideal is this: in a World Brotherhood Colony, you have home and you have church and you have job and you have schools. You have absolutely everything. And again, Swamiji said that because Ananda, now over 50 years old, exists, it's going to be much easier for people now with this model to continue on. And again, as Master said, and as we've read and been inspired by, World Brotherhood Colonies that will spread like wildfire. And so we have had a journey And this is a day that we have been looking forward to for months. And I'm not exaggerating, where we would be sharing with all of you. But we did a little bit of research, which seemed to be appropriate and so forth. And I'll tell you just a little on regards how it all started. Nai Swami Devi, back in October, mentioned to the center leaders and so forth that it would be a very good thing to begin preparation for hard times. And so here we were in the pandemic, and so the point was well taken. And so we began by asking Anjali if she would take Kabir's very, very detailed workshops, which spanned some weeks. And then after that, we would begin to think in terms of what we could do to prepare for hard times. And so it seemed natural in the course of that experience that one of the things that may well be needed is to flee the city at a moment's notice if that happens, and have a place to go. Where would that be? And so we began to think about land. And so we have done a little bit of research. We certainly talked a good bit. We've had our emergency team of about 6 or 8 people. From there, we started a subcommittee with about 3 of us talking about the possibility of getting land and so forth. And so basically at this point, to share just a few details, we're thinking at, and of course, all of this is open to discussion. That's why it's such a joy to have all of you, that perhaps we would begin with a modest 6 to 8 acres. And the budget would be something like $1.5 crore. Now, some weeks ago, and this was just very informal, a small little group got together and said, okay, well, let's put together 25 lakh. And then if I have it right, our fundraising team said recently, now we have 75 lakh. Well, if I have that right, we're halfway to that goal, as I shared, of having to accumulate $1.5 crore. And so we haven't even really begun formal fundraising. And so basically, we're just putting together details. We're thinking, although this is certainly being discussed still and will continue to be discussed, no doubt, to have the search be here in Karnataka. But what we've been thinking all along is about Master's footprint. Where is Master's footprint? That's where we want to be. The land that Master has already blessed, and the Gurus have blessed, and Swamiji has blessed. As Swami shared many, many years ago, that someone told him, who was a psychic, she said that she saw Yogananda dancing there on the original property, the seclusion retreat. And I thought, what a beautiful image, dancing with joy, because this was the first World Brotherhood colony that he had been yearning for. And finally, 1967, 1968, through Swami, it happened. So anyway, that's just a little bit. And I wanted to share, I wanted to have Roman now share some important details with regards to our journey.
So after those meetings with these dedicated souls, we decided that before we went forward, that we would want to talk to Jaya and Diana and get their, how do you say, rubber stamp on the idea before we went charging off into the wilderness on our wild horses without getting approval from Divine Mother. And they were very enthusiastic. We said, we want to buy land. Bangalore souls want land. We want to start a community, but we're going just very, very slowly, grassroots. We're going to get the land. Seems like it's the first thing to do. Then we'll start build a beautiful shrine. Then we'll have events out there. We'll rent pandals, and we'll get our emergency equipment stored out there. We'll just get water. We'll get oil. Maybe we'll strike oil on our land. We'll get internet. We want it to be close enough so that everybody can still maintain our lives. And anyway, there's just so many possibilities. So they were so enthusiastic. And so we thought, well, okay, one down. Let's go see what Jyotish and Devi think. So we called them for a meeting, and again, they were overjoyed because Swamiji had shared with them that the reason why he came to India was so that Indians could build spiritual communities. That was his goal. And that's why there was such an outreach. There's the teachings going out and Kriya Yoga now all over India, and all the centers getting more and more magnetic, and spiritual family growing and really planting roots. That was 15 years ago. But now in Bangalore, we've been here for 10 years. Yeah, almost 10 years. And it just seemed like, what's our next step? And so Jyotish and Devi were so enthusiastic and said that we have already built a spiritual community in Bangalore. We already have like-minded souls. We already have soul friends. We already have children that want to be here and families that want to grow. And so now we just need a place to do it. So Jyotish Devi said, tell when you have your community meeting that we're standing on our chairs cheering you on. This is what Jyotish and Devi said. So we are thoroughly thrilled with the support that we're getting from everybody in Ananda. And recently the monks bought their land, and they're on a journey now with their next step, building a monastery. And when Devarshi called us and said that he felt in his meditations, and this was out of the blue, that Bangalore has the magnetism, the wherewithal, the timing, everything right now to begin to build a spiritual community and to buy land. And he encouraged us to do it. He's really the one that started it all off. And so we really want to just let everybody know that this is where we're going to be putting our energy now, is to really search for land. And we want to know, we want to pray about it. We have an affirmation that we've come up with that we'll share at the end of the meeting. We want to join our energies so that we can really find out, as Jyotish and Devi were talking about this morning, what's trying to happen, but to raise our consciousness and really go deep into our meditations so that we can tune in to exactly what Master's will is for us here in Bangalore. And he does have a plan. We feel very inspired, Haridas and I, and just think of it. I just want to give you just a little overview of what it could be. Beautiful land with the garden where we grow our own food, beautiful shrines of all the gurus, all throughout the land, a beautiful temple where we come together and meditate, a beautiful cricket field for the kids, a beautiful place for the kids to run and finally be able to play badminton so you don't have to worry about the bird going into the other neighbor's yard. The children, the families, we could put up our tents that we purchased for emergency and use for guests and have weekend programs. We can start right off the bat. And we could have family programs, and we could have singing programs. We could have seclusions. We could have Kriya Bond retreats. We can just be together in a spiritual way that we all are craving right now after the COVID anyway. And Jyotish said, this probably is the very perfect time to buy land because everybody wants it right now. And maybe a year down the road or 2 years down the road, maybe the economy will crash and we won't be able to do it. So it's almost like it's divinely given to us to pursue down this lane. It's like it's right there. And so we've been so inspired with working with just a small group of people, just stemming from this emergency thing. Master uses anything he can to get through to us, and just, starting to dream. And so now we really, really want to make our dream a reality for Master. Let's be spiritual warriors and just forget all the reasons why it can't happen. Forget all of the money that we don't have. Forget all of the ideas that, oh, but what? Oh, but what if? Oh, but only this, and it can't be done. Forget all that. We're Dwapara Yuga yogis, and we believe in success in the spiritual realm because we have lifted our consciousness in deep meditation. And Master is able to guide us into exactly what he envisions, not just for us, but for those coming behind us, coming later in life. So maybe these spiritual communities that we set up all over India are going to be so helpful for people that really need a place to go. There's also the idea of social services on our community, helping the poor people that need a leg up, that, you know, maybe we can all help with that. That could be our service project. There's just so many, so many ideas that we can come together and create for Master. So the main thing is harmony. When you find yourself thinking, oh, they can do it, I'll just sit back and watch. That's not really the way Ananda was created. It's not a small group of people doing anything. It's all of us coming together through prayer, through affirmation, through contributions in whatever way each one of us can do, through creativity, through helping with the weekend programs, through ideas, through donations, through, there's just so many ways. We will have many more meetings because we want to keep everybody informed and inspired, and we want this idea to go through. We don't want to wait a very long time. In my mind, we've waited 10 years already. So let's just say this is the 11th year. And so we aren't just starting, we've already built up the vibration so that we can move forward. We must work in harmony. We must work together. We must work in joy. Otherwise, it's just another community. Who cares? You know, so, you know, we plant vegetables and get to eat organic food. To me, that's not a life goal. The life goal is to help one another find God. And so through Kriya Yoga, through deep meditation, through sharing, through creativity, through joy, this community will be built. We absolutely know it. Master knows it. Jyotish and Devi are still on their chairs cheering us on, and everybody's cheering us on. Devarshi's thrilled. All the monks are praying for us. So we have a responsibility now not to disappoint them. Now we have to go forward and just think of the next step. Yes, we'll keep our city center. Haridas and I will travel back and forth as often as needed. We might even get a tent there and live there in a tent. We used to live in a tent when the community started at the village. So we need to be willing to break open our minds and just see what's possible. Just don't have a naysaying thing. Oh, well, can't be done. Oh, yes, it can. Swamiji started with nothing. He had no money, he had no friends, he had nothing. We can't imagine that in Swami. But he just knew that that's what Master wanted him to do, and he attuned himself to his Guru's will. And look what he has created through each one of us. So each one of us can be baby Swamis, you know? Each one of us has that power. Each one of us has that incentive, because we do want to find God this lifetime. But we want to share, like that beautiful story that Davy told this morning. When they both got into the light, they turned to each other, the Muslim and the Christian, and they said, oh, no, you go first. It's so beautiful. So this is what we want to do. We want to help one another find God. That's a basic reason for building a community in the first place. So the group that has been working on this diligently we just had 3 people that were specifically working on the land, and that's Anjali, Insomnia, and Anand. And so we would like them to speak a little bit about their process and about how far we've come and what to do in the next steps. How do we take the next steps? Because we always want to take the next steps, and every single meeting that we have, we're going to take the next step until we're there. So Somni, could you say a few words and show people what you've shown us.
Thank you, Romaji. This journey has been really exciting. So we tried to put together some pictures, the visions that we have been getting, of a place, this community. So I just like to share. Is it visible, Anurag?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is the community. This is in the US, but this is something which I found, and it's something like where we have cottages for guests to come and stay over the weekend, and a place to meditate together, to yoga together. There would be a temple there. Some of the visions that we are getting, and a place for organic farming. Last time in the contingency group, emergency planning group, many people came forward to show that we could do organic farming, and have people who can volunteer for water management and maintaining the biodiversity of the place, of the local community that is already existing there. Well, some things like maintaining dairy and keeping it as a self-sustained community. So this is the land in Chandigarh, and it's actually a dream to have an ashram, a community where we can all connect with each other at a spiritual level. And we also do our jobs, so we could also be a little more creative, explore things that we always wanted to contribute, serve the community in a way. So this journey is actually very, very personally inspiring for me, because I've always dreamed of living in a community with like-minded people, and staying uplifted in that energy, in that collective divine energy. So it's something at this point of time, a dream come true. And among the group, I can see Ryan's excitement. He's really jumping on the chair, and it's something we would love all of you all to share your inspiration, ideas, and come forward to make this a dream come true. Thank you, Romaji and Haridas-ji.
Thank you, Sandy. Anjali, would you like to say something maybe about your journey or where we're going next, or some
Sure.
details?
Thank you, Romaji. Thank you, Somni. Thank you, Haridas-ji. And thank you so much, Devi-ji, for starting this emergency planning. When Haridas-ji asked me the first time to take these calls, and he said emergency planning, I was like, what is this? I don't even, sing negative chants. I only sing positive chants. But I said, okay, he's speaking his master's voice. So I started taking the calls. And Nayaswami Kabir had done so much of work around this emergency planning. And first, there was a lot of turbulence in my mind. What is this they're talking about? Is there going to be a war? And that's why we are going here. But what emerged over the meetings was that Master was trying to give us something positive to move into this new age. And what has become so obvious was it is not about what's going on outside, but it's about where he wants us to go now. And over the weeks, as we started taking the calls, like Haridas-ji said, it was about first, there should be a parallel track where we can go and share everything that Romaji and Somni were talking about. And then what more comes out of it? We were just, the group is so beautiful when we discuss on Fridays, we can have a bus that takes everybody to the land. We can do all we want, Saturday, Sunday, cooking, community kitchen, so many things to do, come back to our lives and then see where this takes us. So there's so many beautiful things over here. And the one thing I would just like to end with is that what has come from October, at least this is the sense I've got, and Haridas ji, and we have been talking very, very deeply about this, and Anand and Somni and the other group, is that Master is the one driving this. He is driving this bus. We are all sitting in it. And he wants all of us to just be there. It is like one mind working through so many hands. It's just amazing. That day, Somni told me that I saw this. And when you start sharing, you realize that he's piecing this together through all these hands. He has the puzzle already worked out. He's put this in the astral world. We just have to pull it out now. He's done all the work. And it's going to be such a beautiful journey with all of you. When we have our meetings, we are laughing, talking. There's so much harmony, like Romaji said and Haridasji said. It's great fun. So let's all join in this fun. This is the joy. He wants us to go and get that joy and live in his joy together. It's like that honeycomb, his honeycomb, from which we all draw the honey and live together in his love and harmony. Jai Guru.
Thank you, Anjali.
So please join us all. Please connect with us. We want everyone's ideas, everybody's energy, because he is the one who's putting his energy through you. It is not us. It is his boundless energy which is coming through.
Thank you, Anjali. Anand, do you want to say something or don't have?
No, definitely. Speak.
We can't hear you.
We can hear you, Dr. Ram. We see you.
Oh, there.
No, Dr. Anand, can't hear you.
Okay, good.
No, we can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Now?
Yeah,
Yes,
now.
yeah.
It's better now. Okay.
Ah,
But it's echoing, right?
yes.
Yeah. What I would like to share is like this is what we are seeing in Bangalore is a natural extension of what Master and Swami has planned for us. So we are slowly moving towards that right direction. And we will definitely have our retreat wherein we can deepen our spiritual this thing. We can move towards our spiritual goal all together and try to share each other the goal and try to find God and help others to find God. So that will be the thing. As we know, Bangalore is our IT hub, and we have done great things from Bangalore. Same way, Bangalore will start a spiritual community, which will act as a spiritual powerhouse, which will spread across the whole India and spread to other nations also. So that will be my wish, and this is a nice step towards that. With blessings of Haridas Jiromaji and nice homies, we will definitely achieve it. Thank you, Ramaji.
And now we'd like to open it up for questions and comments, ideas. So it's up to you guys now. We're opening it up to everybody. If anybody has any questions you want to ask team, or how you can get in touch, what are the next steps, what you can do. What you feel about the idea. You must have a thought.
Please share your what comes to your mind. It would be nice to hear from you what comes to your mind when you hear all of us. Yes, when you heard this.
There's a question by Pritika. How can I join this work? How can I join for the work?
Okay. Well, for starters, if you have Anjali and Somni and Dr. Anand's
I
numbers,
can't hear you, Haridas.
If you have Somni, Dr. Anand, Anjali's numbers, fine. You can call them. You can call Roma and I also if you don't have them, and we can give them to you. You likely will have questions as the weeks, the months go on. Comments, leads of land. The main thing is to and this is for all of us, to be open to the possibility of maybe grandpa, when you're talking about this idea, he has, some kind of lead that we can pursue. We're going to be looking at, all different properties throughout Karnataka. We just don't know where it's coming from. The one thing to keep in mind is that land is right now blessed by the gurus. We just have to find it. And we have to be patient in the process. It may come quickly, it may take a little bit longer. But again, don't hesitate to call us, share your ideas, your comments, your questions, and especially leads of land. That's the next thrust.
So there's a question, where is this land? It's in the astral world, it's in the physical world. And we have already got a few leads. People have been helping us. And it's not just Karnataka, because Bangalore is on the border. So, we are also looking at that Tamil Nadu host, anything that you feel inspired to share with us. And the monks have gone through 35 sites. We are ready to go through as many as Master sends us to. So please do share with us, connect with us. It's very important. He is working through all our hands, all of you. So please, nothing is a silly question. Don't ever feel hesitant. Come and connect, and let's all do this together. That is what is very important.
There's a comment saying it's Thiruvannamalai. So actually, we are looking for something which is accessible, couple of hours away from the city. People who are working who can go and come back the same day itself. So we would like to be closer to the city for sheer, convenience. But yes, I mean, we are open to see anything right now, whatever Master plans for us.
Any other questions or comments, ideas?
Please do share what's coming to your mind. We'd love to hear all of you. Please share anything that you like. Sudha, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I wanted to talk about education, like how to involve children in it also. Any adult learner who wants to learn, I'm willing to contribute towards that full-heartedly.
Yes, so we will be doing that planning. All that is coming along. And right now, first we are focusing on the land and trying to get the land going. And then once we have the land, then everything on it is going to come together.
When we do look for the land, we are keeping those things in mind. We want enough land so that the children do have an area where we do have a quiet place for the temple, where we can grow food. So all of these things are in our minds while we're looking for the land so that the community can grow. But first we need the land, but we're keeping those things in mind. Okay.
Hello, this is Arun. Actually, I used to think when I just started journey with Ananda just not very long ago. It is very recent, just few months. I just completed with level 3. But when I started, I did hear about a retreat which was there in Pune, and I always used to think that, okay, why not somewhere closer? To tell me, to share with you, I'm pretty excited with the news that, okay, at least the ideation part have started, wherein we are looking at setting up a retreat somewhere closer. Okay, so that of course is a very positive thing that I take it personally. On the land bit, to the extent of information that I have, what I've seen is the belt of Hosur and Krishnagiri is not very far from Bangalore. It is connected via the NH7, so directly the accessibility is pretty good. And albeit it is not in Karnataka, it is in Tamil Nadu, but from a perspective of the benefits, what I've heard is there are a lot of support for agriculture and things which the government of Tamil Nadu is providing. So I'm sure if we are looking at an 8-acre kind of land parcel, more or less it is going to be an agricultural land. And whatever we plan to develop in terms of agriculture, etc., I think the government of Tamil Nadu has better benefits than the government of Karnataka. This is something I've heard of, so might want to think on those lines as well.
Yes,
Okay,
thanks.
are you
Thanks.
taking notes?
Yes, yes. So thanks a lot, Arun. Yes, we are. We were also exactly thinking about. So we are very open to any place that anyone would like to share and comes up with. Only thing is, it should be about 2 hours from Bangalore, like Somni is saying, so that people can reach it. Anything beyond that then becomes difficult. So please do connect with us, and we'd love to hear more from you.
Sure, sure.
And thank you for your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
Ryan wants to say something, right?
Ryan.
Okay, go.
Can we have a place where like we can play many things?
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. You bet. The thing that's most exciting for us, I think, is for the kids. A place for the kids where you have, equipment to play on, and large fields for cricket and football. All of that brings so much joy. At the School of Ancient Wisdom, where you guys would be running around and having fun, that gave us a taste of what we can experience on our own property. And so, again, if there's anything driving this, it seems like it's for all of you guys, really.
Ryan, you can help us design the cricket field, okay? Anybody else?
Okay, any thoughts?
Actually, hello everyone. So lands around Karnataka, here is probably 2 hours if we think, probably the place near to Kanakpura or near to the Mysore, which is are kind of a good one, where the nature also is really greenery and where community building is kind of good and land cost is bit kind of affordable if you think about Kanakpura or towards Mysore. So it is all like just hint of the things. Maybe even I have some contacts, maybe towards Mysore, we'll just check out how the prices are there, or even Kanakpura are the good leads we should think about now.
Yes, Jagdish, we are open to Mysore and Kanakpura. So please get in touch, and we would like to explore those areas as well.
Okay.
When they built the community in Sacramento years ago, Ananda looked at 117 pieces of property and apartments. So nothing went unnoticed. Every single lead was followed up on until finally Master said, okay, you've done a good job. And then he gave them the perfect place for their community in Sacramento. So we just have to stay steady and be very diligent and have willpower and keep going. Just check this out, check that out, meditate on the land that we go see, feel if it's the right one. We'll have community meetings all the time. We'll see what people think. So we really want to make this a community venture, and we will find the right piece. But we need to explore everything. So nothing is too little to explore.
We were teasing that, normally you would think the first thing is water, but we thought, well, the first thing is internet. And then we can always haul in the water, which of course we don't want to do. But nevertheless, we want to have that at the tippy top of the list among the other things.
Haridasi, there are questions on how much land approximately are you looking at a minimum? That's in the chat box.
Good. 6 to 8 acres is what we're thinking of. Again, all of this is fluid, but 6 to 8 acres seems to be at this point within our budget depending on if we get grants from the government, maybe the land would go down to 15 lakh per acre. Maybe we'd be paying 20, 25 for per acre, 25,000 lakh. So we just have to, do our best. It's, again, Sri Yukteswar's counsel was to be comfortable with your purse. And that's important. And at the same time, to be expansive. And that's Ananda. And that's how Ananda has been built worldwide. That real fine line, again, the razor's edge, where we feel like, okay, now this is the next step. How are we doing with our budget and so forth? So we're thinking with the amount of people we have in Bangalore that has been built up, again, before Roma and I came in Dumlore. So it's some years now, over a decade. We see, it seems to me, it seems to all of us, that we probably, with everyone contributing what they can, we can get our first piece of property. And then after that, of course, things can expand. I was saying to Anjali that at the seclusion retreat, our first property in California, it was 72 acres. Now at Ananda Village, 50 years later, we have 1,000 acres. But that didn't happen overnight. It's just, bit by bit, moving along.
To give you a visual of just how much land that is, from 6 to 8 acres, the School of Ancient Wisdom is 9 acres. And look what they've done with that property. So 6 to 8 to 9 acres is really a lot of land if we can, really organize it so that all of the different activities can take place and it can all be beautiful. We want it to be beautiful. So that's a lot of land when you think about it to start out. And it would be nice to have land next to it so that little by little we can keep. But at the Nanda Village, the first property was 6 miles away from the biggest, the second property. So there's many ways we can go. We don't know where Master's going to take us.
And the School of Ancient Wisdom started with 4 trees.
Yeah.
And those of you that have been out there or perhaps gone on the web to see, it's a jungle now. And it hasn't been that many years, 20 years plus, but they built up this incredible oasis, and especially the vibration that it has. And for us to get land, the vibration is going to just continue to grow and grow and grow. As they say of Ananda Village, 40 miles away from Ananda Village, you can feel the vibration before you even get there. And that's no exaggeration. So it's going to help a lot of people.
And so the monks also, they're going to be planting 1,000 trees on their land. There's just so many things that we can do. We can plant trees, mango, papaya, all the different things that we love, herbs. But it's enough land to get started. It's definitely enough land.
And Harish has a wonderful.
Oh, Harish, where's Harish?
Yeah.
Oh, you should tell
Yeah, Harish, share, because we love this idea. Go for it.
Sure, Haridashi. Okay, when I heard about the land, I just thought, okay, what would I be doing on the land? Most probably I would love to farm, right? And I would like to grow things like the papaya and the mango, which just Romaji said right now. And I would just, love to do all those things to start off with, right? And obviously the retreats, the meditations, and everyone will do as a community, right? But what would really resonate with me, because, there was a time, my grandfathers were, kind of, in Chikmagalur, we had, a little bit of estate, we had farmland and everything, and we used to go there a lot. So it's like a childhood memory. So when I started looking in Bangalore, having the, a kid of 5-year-old with your wife and, a job already, what could be, accessible. So I just saw that, there are places in Bangalore where they rent out farmland, which you can rent out on a monthly basis for, a couple of thousand rupees. It starts from like 4,000 or 10,000 per month, depending on how big your land is. And you can farm there. You can take the help of the local farmers who are already farming there. You can hire workers there. There's already water and everything and all those things. So these kinds of options are there in Bangalore, and there's one specifically was started by an IT guy who left his corporate job and he just had this huge farmland as his ancestral, this very close to the center, about 30 minutes from the center, and he just gives out those pockets of land and gives all the support who can learn and want to farm, right? And it's just a rental thing, right? And it's not and you can spend some time, learn, and all those things. So I'm just going for that, so that when this land comes through, I know, and I have my hands in the soil, and I already have the feeling, that I can stay there, right? Because this, obviously, the land thing, like Haritaji said, could take a little bit of time or could be instant, but developing it, sustaining it would be years, 10 years, 15 years, and everything, and all those things. And we just have to sustain that enthusiasm and develop the skills, right? Because my skills are mainly internet and laptop, but I think in a land like that you need to have some farming skills also. So that
You are
was,
going to be a head of farming.
well, no worries.
New skill set that you are upgrading to.
No worries. So I'll be renting out a small piece of land, and I think a couple of us were interested on this, Vijay, Lata, and Shem also. So maybe we'll start off somewhere in the city farming, and maybe we'll then migrate over to the new land when it comes through. So thank
It's
you.
a wonderful start.
Really, community garden, fabulous.
Yeah, and we'd love to go out there and start getting our hands in the soil too.
Sure, Maji. It's very close. It's less than half an hour. So
Yeah.
when things
So
are
Harish, you'll be taking care of communications as well as farming, right?
now, once I become a farmer, I'll be handing my resignation to Romaji. So that position will be open. Anybody of you can apply to it. No worries.
I'm going to follow him to the farm. Wherever he goes, I go.
Okay.
We have many questions coming up in the chat. People want to share their thoughts. So I've just created a WhatsApp group. So whoever is inclined can join this community right now on WhatsApp. I just created. So Sonic and Harish, please check if it's all right. And yes, Sonic, you wanted to speak. Yeah.
Oh, I was saying it might be easier for us because the monks already have designed their land, and they have had selected the trees which would be for the fencing, the interior trees, especially the plants and the places. The planning would be already done by the monks and Devashiji, Jamal. I think we can borrow those things once we are through with our land. That those plans will definitely help. Probably the trees might be a little different from what is there up in the north, but basically we can take ideas from there, and it will be easier for us to do without specialized gardening knowledge, which Harish will gain, I think, over the
Well, I'm growing potatoes and flowers and everything. No specialization here, and that's where I'll start with. But yeah, I think Devashi, is like a farmer and has a lot of ideas. Definitely, we can take that.
The monks have offered to be there every step of the way to help us. What
okay.
about water? What about internet? What about the garden? What about the trust? What about the legal things? What about the money? So Devarshi and the monks are really cheering us on, and we have such a connection with the monks. Jamal and everybody, they're such good friends that they are very willing to sort of like dual projects together. We have different needs than they do, and ours is a little bit more detailed and a little bit more complex, but definitely they're there to help us every step of the way. So Sonic, you're right in that. Very good.
Yeah. I mean, they are the one who inspired us. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And with our international community, we have, of course, the city communities that have been established for many, many years now. We have Italy. We have Jai as our spiritual director, who was in charge of Ananda community in California with his wife for over a decade. So the amount of resources are really endless, and we'll definitely be drawing upon them. That's so, so helpful. And what shortcuts there'll be for us, whether it's, going through the process with, the bureaucrats and so forth and so on, to, again, the land as we've talked about, and everything in between. And so anyway, we're very, very fortunate that Swami started in 67, 68, because 50 years of effort with these many experiments going on simultaneously, both in the city and country, it's a real godsend for us and make it so much easier.
So should we take a few more comments or questions? You have them in the...
Yeah, let's hear Satyajit, Kashi, Deepa. What do you have to say? Share with us. Come on, Prashant.
What are in the...
It's nice to hear.
What's in the chats? We don't want to force you. It's okay. But if there's something in the chat, let's do those first because those people have...
Okay, yeah, Anjali. So, yeah, it's a great thought, and the vision is great, right? So while I'm so excited about what the end result is going to be, the journey is equally exciting, right? Reaching from here to there, right? So just be part of that journey. And while doing this journey, we all would need a lot of foot soldier. Right? My hands are up for that. That's all. And just waiting for whatever the direction comes in and just go there. And while we have this vision, like where we have all this set up, and I'm again saying that the journey is going to be very exciting, right? You'll be part of building that, right? And you'll always not get that opportunity, right? So let's look at another, maybe better than School of Ancient Wisdom in the making, right? And we would see it from starting to the end. Yeah, do consider me as a foot soldier and always ready. Anjali ji, do ping me for whatever. Yeah.
Be ready to grow potatoes.
Whosoever reaches first, right? So we all have
foot soldier, not hand soldier.
Yeah, whosoever reaches first, so I'll sign up for that. That's how I'm looking at. So anything that comes in the way. Yeah.
You know, I wanted to mention that when the COVID started and we began our healing prayer ministry, it was done overnight in the most organized fashion. We've had 12 to 15 people praying, a very organized thing every day, twice a day, every day of the week. So with that organization and enthusiasm for that project, think of what we can do for this project. We're all coming together in a very positive way. It can just all come together overnight because Bangalore people know how to do it. So. Anybody else?
Yes, I would like to go next. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Prashant.
Yeah. Like the way Harish said, what resonates with me is to have vocational training programs for people who are underprivileged, so that their economic self-sustenance is taken care, and have kind of how do I say? How, like, we can have what I have in mind is we should have a space which can generate revenue for the ashram for economically self-sustenance, and we can have an Ananda store outlet with the apparels, and we have a room in the center. We can have an extended space that way as well, which is for commercial purpose and also to connect with people. So I'm thinking on those lines. Also, I'm thinking of conducting blood donation camps or first aid training for interested people, so that we can certify them and they can be deployed in different geographical areas wherever they are. So making people independent and self-reliant. So again, it's all in the idea phase. It's too early to think of all this, but I was tempted to say about this. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
It's wonderful, Prasad. Anybody else?
So remember, at this point, we will be expanding, our subcommittee team that's been working on the land. So again, if you have Anjali's number, Somni's number, Dr. Anand's number, fine, give them a call, and they would be happy to answer questions and take your land leads with great enthusiasm and so forth and so on. Call Roma and I the same. If you don't have their numbers, again, as I said earlier, please call us and we will send their phone numbers on over to you. So, yes.
So if everybody's done, then we can also just put our comments on the new WhatsApp that Somni has created for us.
The
Anjali,
link
you want
in
to
the
say
chat.
anything else? What?
The link is available in the chat, so please go there and add yourself if you're inclined.
Anybody else? Anjali, you want to wrap up and say something, or Anand?
We're just anyone who wanted to put their hand up like Satyajit but was hesitant, please just press the button for the WhatsApp group and join us. Let's join our hands together, join our mind, because there's only one mind working through this, and that's Master. So let's just come together. It's going to be so beautiful. Imagine going out, doing for these beautiful weekends, doing what Prashant said, what Romaji saying, all his vision coming through all of us. It's going to be really beautiful. Let's make it all happen together.
Thank
Just
you.
see Master flowing through everybody. It is so beautiful. He's just pushing, pushing, pushing. He wants channels. So let's all offer ourselves up to him. Thank you so much. Just to share that what Romaji was saying, Somni was saying exactly this about the healing group. She said it's like Master's given us a test to see, can we do it? Can we do it harmoniously? Now he's giving us another bigger project. He's saying, okay, come on, now let's see what you can do with this. So let's show him together what we can do, and we can manifest him, and he will be happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We've gotten together an affirmation for the project, and so we'd like to share it with you. And we're going to print it out, and we're going to put it in card form, and we're also going to put it on the web. We're going to put it on the newsletter. We'll put it on WhatsApp. But this is the affirmation that we've come up with. And so let's just close our eyes. And this is specifically for the land. This is our affirmation for the new project. Divine Mother, we are your loving children. We yearn to serve thee. Guide our attunement to thee. Guide our search for land. Guide us in building our spiritual community in Bangalore according to thy will. Om Shanti. Amen. So let's close our eyes and say it out loud once. We'll say it quietly, whisper, and then silently, like we do our other affirmations. Divine Mother, we are your loving children. We yearn to serve thee. Guide our attunement to thee. Guide our search for land. Guide us in building our spiritual community in Bangalore according to thy will. A little more quietly. Divine Mother, we are your loving children. We yearn to serve thee. Guide our attunement to thee. Guide our search for land. Guide us in building our spiritual community in Bangalore according to thy will. And now in a whisper, Divine Mother, we are your loving children. We yearn to serve thee. Guide our attunement to thee. Guide our search for land. Guide us in building our spiritual community in Bangalore according to thy will. And now silently, with a lot of concentration and energy and love at the point between the eyebrows. Divine Mother, we are your loving children. We yearn to serve thee. Guide our attunement to thee. Guide our search for land. Guide us in building our spiritual community in Bangalore according to thy will. Om Shanti. Amen. Now let's send out 3 ohms, visualizing this beautiful land vibrating and shining with Master's vibration, with Kriya yogis, children, souls all over Bangalore, all over India, all over the world, coming there. And feel a great joy and a great bliss coming from the land that Divine Mother wants to give to us, that Divine Mother is yearning for us to have. See it already there, and see us all participating and dancing in joy, holding hands in the light of God. Oh. Shanti, shanti, shanti.
So thank you again for taking the time, for sharing your thoughts and so forth. So again, as Satyajit was saying, the journey is going to be joy is a joy. And so, yes, one of these fine days,
They can't hear you.
we're going to be on the land, and it's going to be fabulous. But the journey, it's going to be really special. So lots of prayers. We have an affirmation now. Again, as Roma said, we'll share it with you all. And again, thank you for your spirit. We, again, as I said earlier, we couldn't wait to have this community meeting with all of you, because it was months and months and months going through the process to try to get some, basic details and vision. And now we're getting closer. So
just keep Jyotish and Devi standing on their chairs cheering us on in your mind. And that's all of Ananda. They're all cheering us on. So thank you for everybody for coming. And Ryan, thank you. You are our poster child for the children in the community, and we're very happy you came.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you guys have a good rest of your day, and we will look forward to seeing you again soon.
Bye-bye.